For that, we bring in the experts, presidential historians Doug Weed and Craig Shirley. Thank you guys for joining me. Doug, let me throw this to you. I mean, some of the numbers are staggering. By the way, I don't think they're gating this on their postage allotment. Take a look at some of these. I mean, it's absolutely out of control before and after Obama's. And by the way, 1.3 million prior, 70 million after. Just wait to see what that number gets to in a few years. They're doing deals everywhere. Michelle Obama on her book tour, I read somewhere where she was selling out 30,000 seat arenas for literally thousands of dollars per seat for a long time. That number is going to skyrocket. Look at Bush, 20 million to 40 million. That just pales in comparison to some of the others. And we highlighted Bill Clinton, 1.3 million, 240 million after, and these numbers are staggering. Doug, tell us, when you think public servant, is it public servant or is it ingratiate myself to the nines once I leave being a public servant?
Well, you know what it is. By the way, Eric, it's great seeing you on this show. I get a real kick out of seeing you each time you're on. I'm glad you're on Newsmax. Actually, this whole process begins very, very early, long before they're president of the United States. There's quiet negotiations about board of directors, nothing acknowledged, nothing in writing, just grunts and rolling the eyes. But the ambassadors are picked, and my son, of course, will serve on your board. That's been going on forever, and it's huge today. It gets bigger and bigger. Reagan was criticized with his deal with Japan when he left, and the reason they criticized him was he was so pure, he was so honest, he wouldn't get involved in that. But this has been ongoing forever. It will continue to be ongoing. As long as there's something to sell, it will have value.
Craig, let me throw up one more. And we saw all those other past presidents really making a lot of money once they left, but during their presidency and once they left. Take a look at President Trump. He lost money. President Trump lost money being president, and everyone seems to point the finger at him. Craig, how many times do we hear emoluments clause, emoluments clause, emoluments clause, meaning the president was ingratiating himself while he's in office? This man lost money. That's a public servant.
Yeah, that's not quite astonishing because people vote in many different ways, not just in the ballot box, but they also vote with their feet. They also vote with their purchases on whether or not they buy buildings or buy condos or whatever else. And obviously, the stock market has not been shooting up of recent. He's lost probably money in the stock market. Also, real estate value in New York has plummeted, so he's probably lost money there. And also, people didn't buy his buildings or buy his condos simply for reasons of politics, which is really unfortunate that people are so petty with their dollars that they would take it out in that manner.
Doug, final thought here, about a minute or so. It just strikes me that look at Harry Reid. He walked into the Senate and he was, a senator making $100,000. I think they got up to $174,000. Joe Biden as senator, the highest he ever made was $174,000. And then he walks into the presidency with several $1 million in his net worth. How do you make $100,000 to $150,000 after tax for all this time and somehow amass millions upon millions of dollars and then millions more once you leave office? What's going on in that time in between that we don't know about?
Yeah, they are hustling, and they're hustling fast. And you look at others, we should say Ron Paul and Rand Paul turned down all of those powerful lobbies, the tremendous flow of money. And Nancy Pelosi raked it in through her husband. I mean, it got so outrageous that 60 Minutes and their whores in the media broke with them and said, we can't support this any longer. They were deciding what stocks they would buy, Nancy Pelosi and gang, and then go into a committee meeting and making the decisions that affected those stocks.
I want to bring you guys back next time I sit in, or we'll do the other show that's coming up soon to be announced. But I'd love to bring you back because I love that topic there, Doug. The Stock Act, where lawmakers could literally front run their own legislation, something that every other American watching right now would go to jail for, but they're allowed to do it, and they were allowed to do it and make a ton of money doing it. I got to wrap the segment. I'm running out of time. I want to say thank you both, Craig Shirley and Doug Weed. Thank you guys for your time.
Thanks, Eric. Good to see you, Craig. Good to see you, Eric.